In this video, I will cover collections framework in Java. So let's start. Java Collections Framework is the framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate a group of objects, and it provides the methods to perform searching, sorting, insertion, and manipulation, deletion operations uh, on that data. So Mhm. In this case, any group of individual objects which are represented as a single instance, we can call collection of the objects. So this framework also introduced it in JDK 1.2. The class hierarchy of the collection framework is divided into two groups. It's like the subclasses of the collection interface and the subclasses of the map interface. In this video, we will cover only the first group of these collections. Iterable interface is the superclass of the collection interface. So in this case, iterable means that this collection is iterable. So this collection we can iterate over this collection. The main functionality of this interface is to provide an iterator for the collection. We can see the code from the IDEA, so let's try. So iterable interface provides us three methods. So the iterator method, as I said, and the for each method which is added in each version of the JDK, and split iterator method. Uh, Collection interface is a root class of this group, so it provides the main functionality of the collections, which is commonly used, which is required uh, to implement in the mm, in the collections like add all, clear, contains all, is empty, and so on. These methods are clear from their name, so I think so it's easy to understand which method is for which mm, operation. So this collection interface is like from the fifth of the version of the Java is generic, and the main functions of this interface is size or get the count of the elements in this object is empty to find out if this collection is empty or not, contains to just search and find out if this object contains in this collection, and so on. So the main one is to array method to get array from this collection, add method, remove method, and so on. Iterator interface it provides the facility of iterating the elements in a forward direction only. So, iterator interface also generic. It has this has next, and remove methods, abstract methods, and then for each remaining, which are also added in Java version 8. So to perform operations for each item of the collection. We can use with iterator, you can use while operation, so you can check in condition of the while has next if it has next element in the collection, and then get the item with next method of the collection. They are commonly used collection classes with their features which are maintained with these classes, and then you should choose the right class for your purpose depending on this table. You can just for example, if you want to work with multi-threaded application, you should choose thread saved collections in this list. But if you don't need this feature, you should choose not thread safety safe collections, because mainly they are faster than thread safety alternatives, because they don't have overheat for maintaining synchronization of the object. Also, if you just want to work with null elements in collections, you should choose from this. You should see this column of this table, and so on. Before the collection framework was introduced, uh, in Java, mainly they use it arrays, and they use it vectors or hash tables. But in this case, uh, programmers cannot. It was hard to implement for programmers the methods which may just work with any type of the collection. Uh, so they need to just overload the methods for each type of these collections. Also, there was so also we have legacy collections in Java. So it means that it was developed before the collection framework was created, but these classes are maintained yet, uh, so it hasn't just so it hasn't deprecated, and it is in maintain it is supported in the new versions of the Java. So for example, vector class, which but this classes has alternatives in collection framework, and it's used rarely than the alternatives. For example, vector class is similar to array list, but vector class is maintained because it works well with multi-threaded applications. Array list is not synchronized; it's not thread saved. So vector class is used in this case. Hash table class, stack class, is not mm, has not alternatives in new version of the Java. Also, dictionary class which superseded by map and properties classes class which is and the enumeration interface which superseded with iterator class in Java. So all of them except the properties class is retrofitted for generics by Java version 5. So properties works only with strings and it's not generic. So difference between arrays and collections are here. So there are some differences. For example, arrays are fixed size, but collection size can be changed. So arrays has fast execution. Collections, on the other hand, consumes less memory but also have low performance as compared to arrays. So it's like optimized, but it is but in some cases collections uses the arrays um, in their code. So in this um, okay, arrays can hold both objects and primitive data types, but collections can hold only object types, only the reference types, but as generic classes, it cannot work with primitive types of the data. Also, arrays is due to its storage and internal implementation better in performance, but collections is not uh, better performance. Uh, in contrast, advantages of the collection framework is its consistent API, so which maintains all of the classes, collection classes, so you can just using the common methods and using the interfaces, the collection and iterable interfaces, you can just create universal methods or classes, so you can just reuse your code, so it reduces programming effort and increases program speed and quality. So because you will not repeat yourself when working with collections, you don't need to do it. Uh, so okay, references. So in this case, you can learn about collections from these sources in the internet, and if you have a questions, you can ask me. Uh, so I finished this slide.